once you become part of the Orient family, there's something that when you go through those gates into that, into Brisbane Road or the Bridegroom Stadium, whatever you want to call it, you're hooked. You become part of an identity. You're welcomed by every fan. Doesn't matter what race, what religion, whether you're male, female, there is no divide. Everyone is welcome through those turnstiles and everyone is welcome to sit next to each other. I give up on the amount of people, like Julian said, where when we score goals and we're away from home, if we're not in seated areas and we're on the actual terraces anywhere, I've lost count the amount of times I've been hugged and thrown around, or I've hugged people and thrown them around. I don't even know them, but it makes, these people become friends for life.
He's gone and said we're all mad, and we are mad. Every football fan's mad. But don't forget, we come from a part of London called East London. And if you look at history of what the East London person is, they're a chirpy chappy, aren't they? That's the CVC. What does a cockney look like? Yeah, it's a chirpy chappy, got a bit of a voice, likes a joke, likes a laugh. So you think you have 5,000 of those people in one ground, it is going to be a bit mad.
I think the same as most Orient fans, to be honest. We didn't really choose it. If we were going to choose what club to support, we'd have chosen, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Manchester United. But my dad took me from when before I can remember. His uncle took him way back in the 60s. I think when we were in the top division and we were playing, teams like Chelsea, in the league and on a level with them. So yeah, my dad didn't really have a choice, and I didn't really have a choice.
We are the second oldest club in London, established in 1881. The club is esteemed in history throughout the 1880s, and also during the First World War, especially the Battle of Somme, where the club had 10 players actually sign up to what was later named the Footballers' Battalion, and represented what was then Clapton Orient, but still the Orient, at the Battle of Somme. And unfortunately, 3 Orient players lost their lives in battle. These players had an amazing contribution. There was a team in Scotland called Heart of Midlothian, who also unfortunately had players that sacrificed their lives. But we were the main 2 teams during the Battle of Somme that actually made up the Footballers' Battalion. We've actually got a massive plaque which was commissioned by Orient and the fans, and the people of Somme themselves, the local community, agreed to put the plaque up at the graveside to show unity between us and what actually happened back in 1916. A lot of people go to the pub before the game. They'll have a meal with or a light lunch, a few beers, go to the game, watch the game, win, lose or draw. The club on the first floor of the main stand, which is now the Justin Edinburgh stand, have got a suite that they open to the fans 10 minutes after the game. And while some people want to go home, a number of fans go to that suite, as well as the official supporters club that's on the ground floor, go up and have a beer. But if you go up to the suite, the players are there, the managers come up, the chairmen are there. You can talk to literally the people you were adoring and calling their heads for, or just shouting their names in glory, 10-15 minutes before. You're mixing with them now, talking about the game and their performance and what they did.
You're never going to get it like it's the whole razzmatazz that you do get probably some American sport, because that's not the English way, is it? But one thing I would say is we have 4 stands, obviously. I was about to say we've got 10 stands. Why did I say that? We've got 4 stands. We class them as the West stand, which is the Justin Edinburgh stand. They're a little bit quiet, a little bit more reserved. They may clap when it gets a little bit rowdy. Then we have the family stand where Darren used to sit, which is the other end, which is quite noisy. You've got kids enjoying it. They have the East stand, which is made up of the away support as well as some home support. They're where I sit, and now Darren's sitting is the South stand. So you do have in the South stand have the absolute mix of people, from the absolute mad cuckoos right through to the football connoisseur.
Florence Vigouroux,
Yeah.
the keeper, he's sensational. Our striker, Danny Johnson, who's injured at the moment, we signed him mid-season last year, and he didn't really hit the ground running. It was a bit stop-start, and I think that's also because of the global situation. He didn't really have a chance to settle into the football. This season, he's been hot. He's been so good. I think he scored 13, 14 league goals. He's injured at the moment, but I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing, because it meant clubs weren't looking at him as much in the January transfer window, so we've managed to hold on to him.